Hello everybody and welcome back to the chassis variant series. As you can see, this one was not glorious. Now, the linebackers were not as good a hit, and personally I think this was a mix of just me probably not being on top of my game as I sometimes am, but also I think a mix of the Easter egg event that was going on when I recorded these. Because there was a lot of urban mechs. People really want those urban mech bunnies for some reason, so yeah, that was happening, and so teams were very skewy throughout the whole thing. But regardless, I think I did a good enough job with all the linebackers that you'll see throughout these videos. If you don't know it, the linebacker was a slightly later design after the clan invasion, with the intent of replacing the Timberwolf at some point further down the line. This idea that clan mechs had become too quick for the Timberwolf to keep up with in its intended role, and thus they needed something that could fill its shoes. And to do this, they made a mech that was 10 tons lighter than the Timberwolf, but it's quicker. I don't know what the logic was. Regardless, I've always liked the linebacker. It always felt like a bit of an underdog compared to the mech it's supposed to replace. And I always view the Timberwolf and the linebacker as being kind of rivals in that respect. But the Linebacker Prime I also kind of view as a fast-moving adder, because its default loadout is the 2 ER PPCs with some backup weaponry. And the A variant here is supposedly something that tries to mimic the Timberwolf Prime, in that it's got the 2 ER large lasers, 2 ER mediums, and some LRMs, but because, again, it's 10 tons lighter and it has a much bigger engine, it can't mount as much weaponry, so it doesn't have any close-range anti-infantry weaponry with machine guns or pulse laser or anything like that. So it sacrifices a lot. And one of the downsides is it's incredibly high heat. The 2 ER large lasers produce far too much heat, standard, to compensate for the amount of firepower you're bringing. And the LRM-5 and LRM-15 obviously don't do anywhere near as much damage as the 2 LRMs that the Timberwolf carries. So I don't know. I'm not sure how successful this is as a design. Even on tabletop, I'm not quite sure how beneficial it is when compared to you could probably bring another 65 tonner, as we've seen in the series, the likes of the Edmund Jaguar or the Hellbringer, which is going to be after these ones. Both of those mechs in that weight class do just as good a job with the amount of firepower they're given and the tonnage, and they're not that much slower, to be honest. But in MechWarrior Online, the linebacker is a pretty fine purchase. Now, the A variant's hardpoints are not too bad, actually. As you know, you've already got 4 energy and a couple of missile hardpoints. Those are the omnipods of the left and right torso for the missiles, with 2 of the energy being in the right torso and the remaining in the arms. It's not going to blow anyone away, but it's a standard, nice little setup that you can probably make something that's got a good punch, maybe with ATMs or streaks, with maybe a Beagle probe and some pulse lasers. You make it a good light hunter because of its speed. With an XL390, tops it off at about 97 kph, and then you've got, you know, the speed tweak skill to jump in there with you, and you can really ramp up the speed of the old linebacker. And it's a popular choice for that reason. It's a heavy mech that carries a fair amount of weaponry, or can be modified to carry a fair amount of weaponry, and it's got pretty decent speed. I think the only sacrifices that the mech really has is the fact that it's not that great on heat management, and it's not as well protected as some of the other heavies out there, so it does rely on its agility to keep it going longer. Hitboxes, though, I've always found have been quite good on the linebacker. It can take quite a lot of damage without worrying too much about losing side torsos or arms and the such, and it's very rare I've ever seen a linebacker legged. And visually it's always been cool. I always quite like the look of the mech. And as I said, it's always one of the ones I felt was the underdog compared to the sort of big brother it had to take down, which it obviously never does, because the Timberwolf is still probably a far more popular choice in universe lore, and I imagine with players as well. I don't see as many people deciding to bring linebackers to their tabletop games as compared to when they can just bring a fucking mad cat, you know. So outside of that, this match was Forest Colony Ring Around the Rosie. It was a bit of a NASCAR fight because it's domination, so that's what happens. It was a bit back and forth. It was quite a good fight, this one. Wasn't sure. I felt quite early on we were probably going to lose it, but it started to slowly come back, and it was equal, and it started to tip in our favour. So it was quite fun. I like this match, but you'll tell already that it's a I think the enemy team was slightly hamstrung by the fact that they had a whole bunch of urban mechs, and that wasn't giving them the tonnage or the firepower they needed. And the team I was on, I think, might have had one or two, but the rest of them were, you know, heavies and better lights, so as you can see, like the Arctic Cheetah and the such. So I'll leave you with the rest of the round. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
New target acquired. New target acquired. Target destroyed. Target destroyed. New target acquired. New target acquired. Target destroyed. New target acquired. Target destroyed. Heat level